Hi, this is Jack from tritiumsoft.com talking to you about keyOfMusic for iPhone. So in keyOfMusic's designed to allow singers to practice perfect pitch, such as if you're going to rehearse a number, you can get a reference note, such as if I press C major, or press middle C. So this allows you to accomplish tuning tasks and to check your pitch. Another thing that it does is that it has all of the standard key signatures for major and minor scales. So if you see here, we have a diagram on the left, starts off with C and goes all the way down to G flat. And so we even have C flat major and C sharp major, where every single note is flatted or conversely sharped. And so what this does is it allows you to copy the signature that your music is in, because since we have all the signatures, the standard signatures, you can select the signature that is appropriate for your song, the sheet music you're using, and you can play along. And so even if you don't know how to play piano, just by pressing the key, it'll show you where the note goes. And so using this method, you could figure out what note, what the sound is for a written note on the side of the page, and to copy it. And to know what the standard scale is. So if you look at the keyboard now, you'll notice that it doesn't show buttons that you can depress on the non-note keys, and that's because it's just set up here for you to learn do scales. And so we have them, but when you're trying to learn scales, you don't want to hit the wrong note. You want to stay focused on the right note. And so this makes it much easier for the novice to figure out what the scale is supposed to sound like. So if we follow the notes along, we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And so here we've done A major, and we didn't have any of those random stray notes come in that are also present. And so, but we can get them by pressing this keyboard sign. This keyboard sign allows you to see all the notes there. Another way we can get all of the notes is by pressing this C4 button. So C4 refers to middle C, which is that note. And if I press the C4 button, it'll bring me up to C7. And C7 is the highest key we have on our keyboard here. So that's C7. And if I press C7 again, it brings me back to C2. And I can press C2. And you can see here what's happened is by pressing this C2, C4, C7 button, I can move to different parts of the piano. And so this allows us to put a pretty large size piano on a pretty, a smaller sized iPhone and still get a great sound and a functional keyboard. And so just by pressing this, I move through the parts of the keyboard. The other thing I can do here is this. So we have this notes button here close to the right side here. And what that does is it'll switch keys. So musicians will know that A major has a minor associated with it. So if I press the minor button, you'll see I get F sharp minor. And so that's what this does. It allows you to quickly switch between, without having to reselect from the left hand side, you can go from F sharp minor to A major. And what musicians will know is that the big difference between them is where you start the scale, where the concentrated attention to the note begins. So for A major, the first note is A. But if we go to F sharp minor, it's F sharp. And so this is just one aspect of music that is important and has implications for songs. And so we have this flexibility of just pressing this button here. Another nice feature we have built in is you can see there's a sharp button. And right now the keys are denoted as sharps, the ones that are in the scale and part of the scale, but are, for instance, black keys. So the black keys we have in the A major scale, those keys are denoted with the sharp sign. And if we press the sharp sign again, they're denoted as flats. So the beauty in that is that even though you were, there might be a natural inclination, you can see, even a person that's not trained in music can see that G flat is the same as F sharp. So just by pressing this button though, it allows me to see it in a different way, and it allows me to focus on flats or sharps, which is a nice feature when you're dealing with, there's so much different music notation out there, just gives you more flexibility. And so if we look at it again, say F sharp here, what's another one here? So A sharp, and then if I hit the flat, you can see that there is a difference on the left hand side between B flat on the scale and A sharp. And so those are the kind of important details that Key of Music captures and helps you work through. Even though it's the same note, when you write it a different way, it shows up on a different lines versus spaces, right? And so it's just another feature of Key of Music. As we said before, just by touching on the left-hand side, we can select minor and major scales. We just touch them and they'll pop up. And then if we press this piano button, we can get the whole keyboard and we can go. And that's Key of Music. Hope you enjoy the app.